capability, some of the enabling functions that they need a little help with and advice, and again, that's what we're going to provide.
That's Pentagon spokesman Rear Admiral John Kirby explaining why the president decided to authorize sending 1,500 more troops to Iraq. But the announcement comes after the president dragged his feet on the fight against ISIS, waiting months to begin airstrikes in the region after calling them the JV team. So why now? What is going on, and how should we respond? Here to discuss it is the congressman-elect in the state of Texas, a former CIA officer in the region, Will Hurd. Mr. Hurd, thanks for coming on this morning.
Tucker, thanks for having me on the show.
So you served as an operations officer undercover in Pakistan and in that region. You know the region well. You were there a long time. Is this the right response to the threat of ISIS taking over Iraq, do you think?
Well, I'm glad the president is finally putting some resources to this issue and bringing this to Congress. And I think before we make any commitment of troops, we should talk about a broader strategy. This is probably a conversation that has been too long in coming. And if we're going to commit people to this fight, we need to know, what does victory look like? You know, what are our strategic initiatives in order to achieve that victory? These are all the conversations that we should be having, and I'm looking forward to being part of this conversation and using my background in national security and foreign policy to help on this issue.
Yeah, it's striking how rarely those conversations are had in public, so that'll be certainly interesting. Now, you were just elected to Congress in a really tight race. Congratulations, in Texas. And you saw in the waning days of this last campaign, the Democrats in a bunch of different states try to inject race into the conversation and make the point that the Republican Party is racist and that if you're against racism, you should vote Democrat. It didn't work in the end. How, as a black Republican, how did you respond to that? What was your reaction to that strategy?
Well, I think it was a failed strategy, obviously. You know, it's pretty exciting, and I'm proud of my state and my constituents for electing someone like me. You know, in 1970, when my father and mother moved to San Antonio, they weren't allowed to buy a house in certain areas of town because of the color of their skin, and now their youngest son is a member of Congress. And it's great that the voters have moved beyond race and focused on the content of someone's character and ideals. You know, this election was about creating good-paying jobs and helping move everyone up the economic ladder. This was about repealing Obamacare and replacing it with something that decreases costs and increases access to health care. These were the issues of the day, not the color of my skin.
So do you think that's the template for black, Hispanic, Asian Republicans going forward, to keep it on the issues and not get pulled into identity politics?
100%. You know, we need to focus on being Americans first, and this is what we proved in this election down here in Texas, and I think this is a good model to go forward. Talk about the issues, talk about those things that people care about, be right on the issues, and connect with the community, and you're going to see, you know, positive results.
So did the NAACP issue a press release congratulating you when you got elected?
I don't think so, but like I said, there's been a lot